Welcome to Southwest Yard and Garden. I'm John White. Today we're going to be talking about pecans. Pecans are one of the most popular trees in the southern part of the state. They're grown in large orchards, they're grown in small orchards around home, and also as single trees in a home. One of the peculiar facts of pecans is that it requires a special micronutrient, and that's zinc. Zinc has to be put on as a foliar spray. If you try and put it on the ground, it ties up in the ground, and then the tree just doesn't have a real good ability to pick up the zinc out of the soil, so we do have to put it on the leaves. The leaves are the manufacturing uh, point of the tree, kind of like a little plant here. It takes sunlight and photosynthesizes uh, and makes food energy for the plant. And what we want to do with the zinc is, with adequate zinc, we have large leaves that are much wider, much longer, dark green in color. If the tree is lacking in zinc, then we end up with small leaves that are kind of curvy, not real good color in it, and just the general photosynthesis process without the zinc is not as strong. So for a good crop of pecans and a good healthy tree, we want to make sure we have adequate zinc levels in the tree, and this requires usually repeated sprays of zinc on the foliage of the tree in order to get it to absorb into the leaf so that the tree can use it. So if we can keep the tree leaves healthy and give them good color, we're going to have a good crop of pecans on the tree, because there's a certain number of pecans or pecan leaves that actually help to tend and take care of each cluster of pecans. So the more leaves that you can put on a tree, the more pecans you're going to have on a tree. Okay, we've added our zinc product to the sprayer bottle, and what we're going to be using is a product called NZN. It's just N for nitrogen and then the ZN for zinc. Those are the chemical symbols for those products, but this is a pretty handy to use material. Doesn't take a rocket scientist to use it. A homeowner can mix it very easily, just follow the label directions, but the NZN is a liquid material, so you can put it in a hose-on sprayer and use the material very easily, so it doesn't require any real concentrated mixing, so it's all ready to go. This particular type of sprayer I like a lot. There are different types that can be used, but this one gives a homeowner a lot of flexibility. It's pretty easy to use. You just fill the product directly into the container. You do not need to mix it with water, because this unit will do the mixing on its own. Here's the container with the mix on it already. Um, you can see the dial on the top. It already has the numbers on the top. We want to match this number with the little ball right here. So it's putting out 2 tablespoons per gallon. We have the deflector tip on it. This one is pointing down, so it'll spray on the top side of the leaf when you're spraying, or you can turn it this way and it'll give you a spray upward so that you can spray the underside of the leaves, or you can take the tip off altogether and have a strong stream that'll get you the height for the top part of the tree. It does have an anti-siphon device on it that helps to protect for pulling chemical down into your drinking water, so this will help protect it should there be a loss in pressure. But again, this is a good product that'll give you lots of use and lots of versatility. As far as frequency of spraying, we're going to be spraying a pecan tree at bud break, and bud break is when the buds first break in the spring. We'll be looking at probably around the first part of April, and then spraying on a 2-week schedule. On young trees, we want to spray every 2 weeks up to the 1st of August. On older maturing trees, or trees that are bearing pecans on them, we want to start at bud break and then spray every 2 weeks up to about the 1st of June. So we're going to be looking at 4 sprays. And these are real critical sprays, because as the tree develops, it puts growth on, and then as the cluster or the nutlets begin to form, terminal growth stops. So as it puts on a new set of leaves each time, we want to get zinc put on those, because it doesn't translocate as easily, and that's why we need to put foliar zinc on. So we're going to be spraying on a 2-week schedule, which is real important. So if you haven't started yet, you need to get some zinc put on. You may not be able to put all 4 sprays on, but you do need to get started with it, so that at least you get a little bit of zinc started in it. So let me step back and we'll show you how to spray a tree. Okay, we again want to spray both the top and the bottom part. We want to get all the way around the tree. So we'll get the lower branches first. We'll take the tip off. And then, even though this is a fairly coarse spray, we still are trying to hit all the limbs because we want to get all the limbs wet, because the zinc will be absorbed through those bare branches. Now, the zinc material is a fertilizer, it's not a pesticide. So as far as getting some of the zinc on you, it could cause some skin irritations because it is a fertilizer. So if you're actually going to get a lot of the material on you, you should be wearing a longer sleeve shirt or blouse. But as far as breathing in the material, it won't hurt anything. As far as time of day to spray this, you really should be spraying in the early morning or late in the evening. The heat of the day, you end up losing a lot of your water due to just evaporation off the limbs. So the leaves are actually more open and accepting of the zinc material at night and in the early morning, cool parts of the day. So we like to get that done. If your tree happens to be pollinating, where it has some of the male flowers on it, don't worry about it. The zinc doesn't hurt that. It actually helps to maybe displace some of the pollen so that you get a good job of helping to pollinate the tree. The other nutrient that we want to talk about is nitrogen. And on a pecan tree, nitrogen needs to be put out around the drip line of the tree. So we're not putting it up against the trunk of the tree. We don't want to water, and we don't want to put fertilizer up against the trunk of any tree, whether it's pecan or not. We want to put the fertilizer out under the drip line of the tree and maybe even a little bit beyond it. So this whole area out here really needs to be where the nitrogen's put on. We like to put nitrogen on at the rate of roughly 1/4 pound of actual nitrogen per inch of trunk diameter. So if this tree is 6 to 8 inches in diameter, we want to put 2 pounds of actual nitrogen down for this tree. And if we're using a 20% nitrogen material, that's going to be putting somewhere in the neighborhood of about 10 pounds of a 20% nitrogen fertilizer out over the drip line area of this tree. And that'll be the fertilizer needs for this particular year. Now next year you're going to have to come in, if the tree has grown a little bit more in size, again you're going to have to measure it and you may have to add a little bit more. But this is what the annual requirement on a pecan of this size is going to be. Again, we did not put zinc on the ground because it's not absorbed by the roots very well on a pecan tree. But the nitrogen is very soluble and it's picked up and utilized by the tree very quickly. So nitrogen is definitely an element that pecan trees need and needs to be put on. As far as the little wells around the tree, again, we do not want to put a lot of water or fertilizer in those wells. Water and fertilizer, again, needs to be away from the tree. These little scallop areas you see a lot of times used in home yard situations. They help to keep the grass back, but we don't want to plant anything. Don't put any annual flowers in here because the excess moisture can actually create some damages to the trunk of trees. So we don't want to put a lot of little annual flowers in here, and we don't want to be watering and fertilizing. So hopefully some of the tips we've given you today will help you have a much more bountiful pecan harvest and have a much prettier pecan tree.